Hello and welcome to the LC Transfer Room stream. Coming off a resounding victory against Leeds 6-1. Holy cow, I did not expect that. How are you doing, Drew? I'm flying high. How are you?
About the same. I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. You never know what Liverpool you're going to get lately, but I guess Klopp's saying that we've been building in the right direction has come true today. So, all positive from this end. How about yourself?
It's just absolutely uh, just at a loss for words. Like right off the bat, seeing Trent in midfield, no waiting for a halftime adjustment, nothing like that. Right off the bat, pairing up with Fabinho and starting to spray passes all over the pitch was just incredible. And for the game, he was just on it. 2 assists in the match. He completed 124 passes out of 136 for 91%, and touched the ball 153 times. Just absolutely influential throughout the entirety of the match. What were your impressions seeing him in midfield and his performance today?
I feel like we've seen that shift, especially like Arsenal when it started to you could see the fruits of it, and then Trent getting up for obviously the assist again for the second goal. But this game just looked absolutely natural. I think there was like a maybe like the first 30 minutes or so where it looked like we were a bit like sloppy, which I think has been a case all season where passes weren't linking up, the runs weren't, everybody wasn't on the same page, but the movement was there. And as soon as we started linking things together, it just opened up. And I think what you're saying, Trent, it's was central to that. Like he added that extra dynamic in the midfield with Kanate covering. So big shout out to Kanate. I know he had that huge mistake coming out of halftime, but his covering of Trent and his ability as a defender is absolutely immense and allowed Trent to just really take control of that midfield. And I think the Leeds team, I know they're not the best, they're struggling in the relegation battle, but Trent really picked them apart, and it was really nice to see him spread the ball in the midfield, see those long passes coming from different angles, not just from the right, which we're used to. So very exciting. But what would you say was the breakthrough for you? What needed to happen, and how did it happen for us?
I think what you mentioned a little bit earlier, we were losing possession yeah, a couple of times. Trent laid a nice pass. I remember once a Hendo right in front of the box there, and he took a bad touch. And I just think we were just falling to that more often than not, and couldn't really build on our play. A lot of side to side passing, and every time we tried to penetrate, we were losing possession at that point. So I think the turning point was actually keeping possession and being able to link up and get into the box. The biggest thing, the biggest difference, and at least for at least 4 of the 6 goals, all they came off transition play, where we got possession of the ball and quick transition, played it up the pitch, and just scored those goals. And it came from everywhere. Everyone across the front line contributed. Diogo Jota, after 1 year hiatus, uh, off the scoring sheet, chipped in with 2 goals and an assist. Salah got his brace, and Cody Gakpo, very impressive. Like his most impressive match since he performed against Man United. I thought. What were your thoughts on his play in the middle of the pitch of the attack? I
Um,
should say.
yeah, much of the same. I think like we were wondering what potentially would be the takeover from Bobby Firmino. Like I know we brought in Nunez, and he's a very exciting player. It's been nice to see him ground into the team a little more and be a like a be one of the biggest threats in the team, in a faltering team, especially. But to see Cody Gakpo kind of give us a look at what the next evolution of the Bobby Firmino role can be is just brilliant. Like as you said, his last game where he really was firing on all cylinders was the United game, and I love his ability to link up play, his neat touches on the ball, his ability to
Hmm.
drop in, get the ball, turn, and spread it out. Very it reminds me of Bobby Firmino. Different style than Bobby, but very efficient and neat
Just
with
a
the
bit
ball.
bigger, right? Just his size alone adds a different dimension than maybe not as slick as Bobby, but he definitely has a lot of technique and very impressive the way he's able to carry the ball from our defensive third all the way up the pitch. Most impressive to me is just his ability to keep possession. He completed 91% of his passes today, 20 out of 22. That's just outstanding, especially for a frontline player. And as far as dribbling, just great as well, being able to drive forward and pick your teammates as they're driving towards the defense. I think he was really, really good. Um, Going back to Diogo Jota, once again he broke his scoreless streak, and he's back in the goals, as they say. But he was to me, he was pretty sloppy that entire first half up until that first goal. What were your thoughts on Diogo and him being in the starting lineup? I know there was talk, why Diogo instead of Nunez to start, but what were your thoughts?
I almost think it was like a vote of confidence from Klopp, telling him that he's still a valuable part of the team. I think he is. That was a player before the season started that I thought was going to have a big season, and unfortunately, injury ruined most of it. But I remember
Hmm.
back, I think the game he got injured against Man City when we beat them 1-0
Hmm.
at Anfield. It was a huge match for him. He played brilliantly and then got injured. But we talk about it in the group chat a lot where he can have a very sloppy game and then pull up 2 goals, which is what he did today. I think for me, my favorite part of his gameplay is like he takes players on. Like he causes a lot of chaos when he just takes the ball, turns, and goes right towards goal. I think sometimes his link up play, especially in the first half, showed he, a bit sloppy, maybe a bit rusty, but it's
Yeah,
exciting to
some
see
bad
him.
touches here and there. Hmm.
Yeah. But what do you think about the midfield? I'm curious. Carl here said about the foot on the gas early in the game. I know you're talking about the goals in transition, but what do you think was the biggest difference? Do you think it was mentality, or do you think it was the formation? What about the midfield and the pressing was different? Do you think?
I think the change in shape just lends itself to for us to press higher up the pitch and also have extra bodies in case they break through that first line. So in possession, we're 3-4-3. When we were attacking with a midfield pair of Trent and Fabinho, and you had Jones up to the left and Henderson onto the right. And with the attacking of Gakpo, Jota, and Salah kind of interchanging spaces. But I think that was a big difference. We were way further up the pitch than we typically have been trying to guard ourselves defensively this season. So I think that lent itself to those quick transitions and having a good amount of attacking talent on the pitch kind of lent itself to this display. Another player I kind of want to highlight is Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones gets so much heat from the fan base. I think perhaps because he is from Liverpool. He's a Scouse and Scouser, and I think unfairly he catches more heat than other players. I thought he was very good today. Not supremely stellar, but he had a terrific pass to Diogo for that goal. What were your thoughts on Curtis's play today?
Yeah, I've been excited about his play the past couple games. It really seems like Klopp's giving him a chance, and he really seems to be taking it. I think we were talking about the potential of maybe a loan being the best option for him getting
Hmm.
game time, but with Ox and Keita leaving, he has this chance. It seems like Klopp's giving him at the end of the season to say, "Hey, maybe there's a role I can play." And he was I think we've seen he can be very progressive with the ball. I think sometimes he doesn't make the right decision or can get stuck on the ball. But his vision, for that goal was tremendous, and he seems to be
Hmm.
linking up play more. He's got confidence on the ball. I think we forget sometimes, what is he, 23 years old, and I
22
think
still.
there you go. Like
Yeah.
we forget how young he is, and I know there's a lot of players who are around that age really blossoming, but some players, really
Some take a
in his
little
stride at
longer, right?
25, 26.
And
Yeah.
at
I
22,
think
he's
we're
still
all
going
expecting,
through. He's still
yeah.
going through
I was
growing
just saying,
pains. He's
yeah.
both literally on the pitch and in real life. He had to sit out a little bit, I guess, from growing pains themselves. Some skeletal issues he had going on. But I thought he played very well. Keeping possession, I think, is tremendous. I think when we avoid giving up the ball, especially in dangerous spots on the field, I think that's tremendous for us. So I think him being able to keep possession and circulate the ball is a big benefit to us. And this is the first time I can remember him starting more than 2 matches in a row. He started his third match in a row, and I think, to kind of end the season, I think this is what's needed. You kind of have to put in the players or count on the players who are going to be here for next year, or you would hope, cement their spot into the team for next season. And I think that's what Klopp is kind of going with and starting him.
And a quick switch. What do you think about Leeds? And do you think that if we were playing another team, the kind of chance we gave Leeds with I think it was Rodrigo's header, if a team punishes us on that chance, are we coming back? Or what do you think about Leeds in that context, how they played and our performance in that?
With Leeds, the one thing I can say is, why'd you fire Jesse Marsh? if you're just gonna play that way and they're trying to obviously avoid relegation. I think they haven't improved much, if at all, since Marsh was let go. Their current manager to start his career is 0-4, and they're shipping goals at the moment. This is actually Leeds' worst defeat in the Premier League. The 6-1 defeat today is their worst in their history in the Premier League, and that's quite a shame. There's a lot of players on that team that I root for, obviously from for the both of us from an American perspective. We can definitely appreciate the talent they have there from the USA, but yeah, it's not looking pretty, and the fight to the bottom to avoid relegation is a tight one. And then let's see what I think they have a couple of tough matches coming up as well, so it's not looking pretty for them. What about you? What are your thoughts on Leeds and where they're headed?
Yeah, I think it was definitely on the defense. Like, what you're saying, they sacked Jesse Marsh, and we know he was very progressive, very attacking. It was interesting getting him after Bielsa. But for me, it kind of reminded me of the United match where it's like you're clearly beat and you're still just getting picked apart. Like you're leaving players in the offensive third, and Liverpool are just countering and just cutting right through you. So it was really interesting to see the players kind of just almost give up to an extent. But it was interesting because they picked themselves up. They had a few shots at goal. The Konate era, they pounced on that. But it was just an interesting mentality. It just kind of reminded me of like a Sunday league game, really, when the other side just beat and then they only try when
Just
they
kind of just going through the motions there. The goal I felt the most that way was Jota's goal from outside the box where Henderson passed it to him across the box there. Everyone was just kind of just standing around. We were just passing the ball around on the right side, and boom, and they caught them flat-footed for the goal. Yeah, definitely not something that that you want to display in front of your home fans, and they rightfully got booed on the pitch. You had fans leaving in the 64th minute, and that's definitely good for us. We've obviously been underperforming this season, and we'll take the 3 points however we can get them. I know immediately after the first half, we're leading 2-0, and then a minute or a minute and a half later, off that error from Konate, they scored 2-1, and I don't know about you, but I was like, man, not again. We can't afford a draw at this point if we have even a remote prayer of finishing top 4, and we definitely answered right back, which was very, very good, and hopefully kind of turns the tide to going back to quote unquote the mentality monsters. But we've had plenty of false dawns before this season, right? The brightest one, obviously, against Man United, winning 7-0, just to be disappointed the following match. What do you think? Does this say anything towards our next match, or should we just, hope we have a similar effort for the next one and not read too much into it?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head we've seen the false dawns before many times this season, which has been the really tragic part, when we play so well against, a team like United and then we lose against Bournemouth. But I think that what I liked about today, which was kind of different for me, maybe I'm just nitpicking, but after we went down 2-1, I had the same kind of feeling as you, where it's like, oh God, like hopefully not here we go again. And Liverpool just stomped that out, went and got the third goal pretty quickly, and then pushed on
Hmm.
from there. I think I've seen that in a few games where we don't take our foot off the gas, which is nice to see. And yeah, I know we have Nottingham Forest next, I believe, and that's going to be a tough game with them fighting relegation. So you definitely can't afford to cruise. I don't know. I think your top four is a bit beyond us at the moment, but we can only, cliche, but we can only play who's in front of us. And I think that getting back to that winning mentality, that mentality monsters, you can't just check out for the rest of the season. Like we still have European spots to play for. The Europa League. I know many people frown down upon the lower European competitions, but I think any trophy is a chance to win, build momentum, build that positive winning habit. Like winning is a habit, and Man City shows kind of levels of. We've been there. We've taken City where you just keep cruising game after game, winning, 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 and we need to get that mentality back. We can't afford to keep having these false starts. But despite, I think for me, the curious thing, I want to get your opinion on this before we drop out, but I'm sure most people, with the news of the week of Bellingham, us pulling out of the Bellingham bid, we'll get performances like this, but is this a potential excuse for owners to be like, you know what, Trent in the midfield, we don't need midfield reinforcements?
I think you're probably catching the same broadcast I was on USA here in the States, and they kind of referenced this on the broadcast it as well. Oh, with Trent now shifting to midfield, it can save Liverpool from having to spend $100 million in the summer window. Um, with and again, I'm not going to concede Jude not becoming a Liverpool player until I see him holding another jersey, another kit up. So whether it's this summer or from what we're hearing lately, he might be looking towards staying another year at Borussia Dortmund and possibly leaving in the summer of 2024. That would, give me the hope that we can kind of get our quote unquote house in order and kind of bring in players that'll help us right the ship, namely at midfield and especially in defense. Now, I think we definitely need at least a left-footed center back if we're going to look to play kind of a 3-4-3 going forward. I think we kind of need a left-footed center back who can kind of either take Andy's place or at least provide some respite for him. But so I take a lot from this. I think it's definitely a concession from Klopp because he's been asked before in the past as far as moving Trent over from right back to midfield. He's kind of questioned it. Why would I move him? He's world class at right back. But I think he'll still be on the sheet right back. But as far as positionally, I think today was quite a display of how devastating and how precise he can be from midfield. That was kind of Kevin De Bruyne-esque kind of performance from midfield. I have it there to, yep, I'm pointing to the right direction. To my right, his stats for the day, and just incredible. Not something I expected at all, but he seemed quite comfortable in midfield. Kind of the question was, would he be comfortable receiving the ball with the defense to his back? I think he welcomed it. He was enjoying himself out there. So, but I'll take that we can kind of afford to sit out of Jude for a year and go with this experiment. One thing I kind of want to highlight as well with Salah's 2 goals today, he broke the Premier League record for most left-footed goals by a player, which was held by Liverpool player Robbie Fowler previously. So Salah scored his 106th left-footed goal in his career, and that breaks the record. So kudos to him. Any closing thoughts for yourself there, Drew?
I'll add on the kudos point. We've already sung Trent's praises today, and it was great to see him and probably his most thriving performance of the season. I think he reached 50 Premier League assists this game as well. So that being a huge, huge marker for him. What is he? Well, he's 22, right, or 23? But
Yeah, he's 24.
Okay, a little older than I thought, but still 50 assists for a right back at 24 years old is absolutely phenomenal. So excited to see where he can push on from here. And just great performance all around. That's for me.
Definitely, I could definitely see him breaking the century mark, and if not, way more than that. Um, and hopefully, it's a sign of things to come, and a sign of Klopp kind of evolving a little bit or putting players in their most in a position where they can play to the best of their ability. And I think having Trent on the ball definitely is a positive for us. I think what kind of held us back that first half was just not having that real good talent like a Nunez or a Diaz as opposed to Henderson there. But definitely something great to start the week off on. We didn't have a match this weekend, so we were kind of free from having to worry about a win or a loss. But a match on a Monday, great way to start the week, and hopefully leads us on to charge for top four. But I want to thank you all for joining today's stream. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Drew, for hopping on. This is Rigo. Have a great one. Take care.